What's good, homies? This your man, Dr. BOA. You know, we talk all the time about the positions that men choose to play in their lives. And one of the positions that I think we all agree is a very weak position for a man to put himself in is the position of a stepdad. Now, I know many of us have been in those situations, and even if you haven't been in a serious relationship with a woman or married to a woman with a child, if you were in any type of engagement with a woman who had a child and you had any interaction with that child, then as a man, you're going to have a positive interaction with a child, and that puts you in the same mindset, the same role, the same position as a stepdad. But we're talking about the guys who devote themselves to long-term relationships, even marriages with women who already have children. The stepdad position is one of the least rewarding positions that a man can ever have in life. And someone sent me a video on IG, man, that's going to show that coming to fruition. And it's really a sad sight to see, but it's not something that you can really feel sorry for a man about. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, I know some beta male simp man Johnny gonna come in here and say, well, Dr. BOA, sometimes the children need a stepdad. Sometimes you say the stepdad is the good thing, and the children, stepdad do good for the children, and some children in better place because of stepdad, and now you're talking about the stepdad in a weak position again. You go back and forth like Cameo. Our love goes back and forth. You go back and forth, Dr. BOA. I ain't got time for flip-flopping. You always talking about you fishing, you the fish. Always flip-flopping. Unsubscribe. Okay. Unsubscribe. But before you go, sucker, let me tell you this. Yes, having a stepdad is wonderful for a child, but we're not talking about for the child. We're talking about for the man. Of course, a child with any man in the house is better than not having no man in the house. But with a man, it's never better to have another man's child under your roof than to have your own child or no children. See, this is the problem with this scenario. You're always going to be able to find one kid who loves and appreciates his stepdad, even into adulthood, attributes everything that he became to the teachings and tutelage of his stepdad. But for every one scenario you find like that, you're going to find 1,000 where the stepdad is absolutely unappreciated on some Zion Williamson type joint. So when I show you guys this video, man, it's going to be quick. But just the disrespect in it. You're gonna see a man who undoubtedly, because let's cover one thing here. Regardless of what you see on TV, if you're caught up on the trick box, most women are not gonna have a monstrous man around their children. Most women are gonna have a man who is willing to fit into the role of being a father to those children. So we can assume that the majority of men in these situations, if not the overwhelming majority, have been good to the children. Better to the children probably than they should have been. Better to the woman probably than they should have been. So let's take a look at this, man. Look at the level of disrespect. It's going to be a quick video. I'm talking about maybe 30 seconds. Let's watch it and we'll come back and chop it up about it.
Scared? Do something to me. He's a bitch on that shirt. Look, seriously. You got one more time to call me that. I'm serious. Very serious.
You're not gonna do nothing.
Don't call me that.
You're not gonna do nothing. You act
I said
like
don't call me that. Do not
You
call me
got no
that.
authority on me. You feel me?
I don't like that word, so don't use it around me. You got that?
What you wanna do?
Say it.
Bitch.
Bitch.
Now, one thing that you notice in this video, this interaction between these two has built to this point. This isn't something that just came out of the blue where they had a wonderful relationship, then suddenly, they're in the yard throwing paws. No, this has built to this point. It culminated in this, I guess, hand-to-hand combat. But what you have to understand is this. You can look at this young man and say he's being very disrespectful. But let's talk about this from a man perspective, from a king perspective, if you will. When you're a child, you don't really understand what's going on between two adults. You just see two adults, and a lot of times adults try to keep the inconsistencies in their relationship away from children. So they want the children to always think everything is gravy. And so when they have their disagreements and blow-ups and arguments or debates or whatever, they try to keep that away from the sight of the children, from the knowledge of the children. But as you get older, you just become more aware of what's going on. So as a 5-year-old, you think it's great that this man does everything your mama tell him to do. As a 10-year-old, you still think it's great, but you're kind of like, at that point you feel some kind of way when your mama talk to you that way. And you're thinking, man, when I get grown, ain't nobody gonna talk to me that way, but here's a grown man allowing this to take place. By the time you get 14, 15 and you're in high school, man, you start to realize things you're not gonna take from a chick. Seeing a man take this kind of abuse and disrespect from your mother, or this type of, lack of concern or inconsideration, or it could be something as simple as, him coming home and, everyone already has eaten and he gets the scraps that's left after he been out working hard all day. Or he come in and she cooked some for her and the children, didn't cook anything for him. Tell him to take a dinner out or something, a TV dinner or something like that. By the time you're 14, 15, you see these things taking place, man. And these level of disrespect happen in almost all situations where there's a stepdad. Because you have to have a certain mindset of submission in order to put yourself in that position. Now, by the time you're 15, 16, man, you're looking at this dude, man, like he's soft. You know what I'm saying? Because think about this. By the time you're 15, 16, you ain't even taking that type of talk from your mama no more. When you realize that your mama respects you more than she respects that man, when you realize that your mama reveres you more than she reveres that man, when you realize that your mama obeys you more than she obeys that man, that's a tough pill for a young kid to swallow, man, and still try to have some level of disrespect for that man. It gets to a point where it culminates where, as a man, especially as a young kid, now think about this. Yeah, the young boy was calling him out his name and all that, man. But when you bustling with that testosterone, man, and you bursting at the seams with it, especially if you ain't got no release for it, man, you bursting at the seams, man, bristling with that testosterone, man, you gonna lash out sometime. I want y'all to look up any documentary of juvenile male elephants when mating season comes around, when the females are in estrus. Man, those be the ones, the grown, the alpha males, the bull male, man, he don't be acting a fool, man, because he know everything in there is his, man. He could touch every female in there. But the young bulls, man, they be going crazy in there, man. They the ones that be attacking people, man. Listen, man, they have testosterone running out of their ears, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the hormonal imbalance there is amazing. And on a smaller level, much smaller level, that's how it is with human teenagers, man. You get on the other side of puberty, man, and man, testosterone takes over your body. So yes, you become confrontational. And that's all this was. But the level of confrontation, the level of disrespect comes from years of seeing this man in a position that can't be respected, in a position of submission and attrition. That's what happens. Now, not every man who's a stepdad is going to be in that position. I think George Macon, he's an example of a guy, man, who has a nice bit of control in the scenario, man. But the thing is, it's still a compromise, especially for a guy like this one in this video, man, who has let himself go physically. When a kid that size doesn't even feel like you're a threat, then it has a lot to do with him seeing you not stand up for yourself to his mother, him probably seeing you not stand up to yourself to other men, and him also looking at you in this terrible physical condition where it don't look like you can knock somebody out. And the thing is, you ain't even got to be, a lean bodybuilder, muscular guy who look like you don't eat nothing but lettuce every day. You don't have to be like that. You don't have to be a bodybuilder, but you need to have a menacing physical presence. And when you look at this situation, here's a situation where this kid probably has a lot of angst built up because now he's going through these things in his life, man, and he wants his dad to be there. And I know somebody gonna come in here and say, probably some hurt female gonna come in here and say, well, see, his dad that's who he should have took his frustration out on, his dad. Nah, he should take his frustration out on his mom, because his mom is probably the reason that his dad is not around. And here's this dude who is just not built to be in this situation at all. And, you know, it's just one of those things, man, where you have to understand when you put yourself in a position of submission and attrition, these types of things can and probably will happen at some point. So this is not a knock on any of you men who are stepdads. This is an education of the understanding of the position and what it possibly entails, what it does entail and what it could possibly entail. And what this man found out in this video is that it can entail a confrontation where this kid has had this angst building up over all these years, and this level of disrespect for you built up over all of these years, that you put yourself in a situation that this kid, like most men, can't respect. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.